Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying with Jim Misiura. I just got back from a couple of days on the west branch of the Delaware River, and of course I went into 4 or 5 different fly shops to look at their flies, see what they were using and things like that, and also did a lot of checking the actual flies, especially around the hotel room there. We were real close to the river, and on the walls at night, all kinds of flies there. And this is one of the things that I'm come up with. One of the flies I've come up with. There's sulfurs, and there's actually like 2 different kinds of sulfurs. There's like your traditional one that's like yellow body. They're not orange, but they're more of a yellow body. And there's one that's I'm calling it a rusty sulfur done. And I'm not sure exactly what that fly is, but sulfur is the closest thing I could come up with. But it has like a rusty body, and then the thorax is like yellow, and it also has the veins in the wing. Even on the spinner, you can see the veins in the wing. If somebody knows exactly what that is, please tell me. But we're going to go ahead and do that. This is a size 18 hook, and they're small. They're 18s and 20s, even some 16s. But I'm going to start out, I'm going to use some rusty brown thread, and I'm going to start it behind the eye, and I'm going to bring it back, and I'm going to put the tails on first. I'm not going to go too far back on there, just inside the point of the hook. I'm going to use micro Fibbets, and this is going to be that rusty sulfur. That's what I'm going to call it for now until I find out different. One thing about fly fishing, you don't really have to know especially you don't have to know the Latin names. You don't have to know the names of them at all, but just size, shape, and color. So I got 3 micro Fibbets here, and this rusty sulfur had 3 tails. I have 3 of them, but I'm not going to try to split them. I mean, this is kind of difficult enough, and I don't think the fish are going to care if the tails are split. We're going to tie this in. I'm going to put 2-3 wraps. Now I'm going to pull that to size. Make sure they're on top at least. Now I can go ahead and make some tight wraps and bring that up to the wing position. Then we can trim that off. Now I'm going to take, for the wing, one thing I noticed in the fly shop, they're not using very much hackle at all. And here we have, this is poly yarn, but you can notice a little bit of brown in there. I have a little bit, or you should use probably black, but I don't have the black. I took a very small, skinny piece of what I love to use is the shoelace material. I took a very skinny piece of that, and you take the poly yarn. There's a piece of it. You take the poly yarn, and I put it on my leg, but you take your brush, take your little brush. This is a good one, the Maybelline, and brush that out so it gets really thin. Okay, and you want to. This is probably, from one piece of poly yarn, I probably cut this down. This is probably an 1/8, if not a 1/16 of that piece of poly yarn. But I brushed it out really good. And then take this and brush this out. Just going to give it a few swipes on my leg here, just to show you. And there we go. And then you lay this over the poly yarn and brush them together, and you'll have veins. You'll have some kind of semblance of veins, and you could make it as thick or as thin with the veins as you'd like. I'm going to brush that one a little bit more. I'm going to give it one more little, there we go. This side looked a little better with the mix. I'm going to go ahead and, don't worry about making it too long. Tie them in. Going to give them basically a figure 8, and that's what locks them into place, is that figure 8. And there's spinner wings. Oh, the video, the focus went out, but here we go. There's spinner wings, and you can just pick them up for the done wings. It's like so. I'm going to leave them up because it's a little easier to handle them getting in the way. If you cut them short, you're going to catch with the thread, you're going to catch one or two, and it's going to go off to the back or something like that. Now I'm going to take, these are the synthetic quill, these are the transparent synthetic quill, but these are the yellow ones here. I'm going to take a fresh one on for this. Got to just get just one. And I actually want a decent portion of that yellow section. I just nipped off about 1/2 of an inch. And these have glue on one side, so you kind of try to get it so the glue ends up going down. But if it doesn't, don't really worry. You're still going to get the same effect of it, and that glue will go away soon enough. Now when I get to that wing, or to that tail, I'm going to go under that tail, hold that tail up. I'm going to go ahead and bring this up. Still got to control that a little bit there. Going to bring my thread up, and I get up to the wing here. Maybe I'll go in front of the wing. Yeah. No, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw a 1/2 inch in here. Or a whip finish there, just a 2-turn whip finish. I'm going to trim that off. Now the main thing about this this rusty sulfur is the thorax is yellow. So I'm going to take yellow thread, and this is some more 8/0. This is actually light yellow. This is Hemingway's. We're going to put this on. Go ahead and break that off. Give it a wrapping back just to secure it. I'm going to take the synthetic quill. Should get that. There we go. First wrap, I like to turn it so I can see the point of the hook. Yeah, one of those tails pushed with it, but it'll be fine. So it has like a rusty abdomen. And I'm going to go ahead and bring this thread and the piece up in front of it. I'm going to tie that off there. I got so many wraps because these synthetic quills are tapered. So you know, but you could use them. I mean, here's I did 4 flies already, and you can see the size of this comparatively there. And that bigger section still works. You just won't have as many segments. And one of the keys, I believe, to up there or anywhere in August when you have hatches is concentrate on keeping a nice skinny body on there. Okay, now I'm going to get a little bit of yellow, dubbing. Actually, I got orange here, but it has yellow mixed in with it. And I'm going to just put a little bit of the dubbing on there. Let me spread that out. Remember, these are small flies, so you don't need much dubbing whatsoever. And there it is, that little piece. Now I can wrap this. I'm going to separate those wings again. There you go, separate them nice, real easy, and just give it a figure 8 around that thorax wing area. You could even kind of pull them back a little bit for the dun so that they're sloped towards the rear. Go ahead and take my whip finish again, and even right up to the eyes is yellow on these. Take that. I'm going to take my scissors. And another thing too, when you leave it longer, you can grab both wings and trim them both at the same time, and you'll have them the same size. And the wings usually should be the length of the body. So I'm going to go ahead and trim them off there. And I could probably get another wing out of that. And you don't even need any hackle on there. One thing up the West Branch, you're fishing flats. You know, the water's pretty darn smooth. That's why you want to keep a thinner body, and you don't need a lot of hackle. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can divide this. I can get this tail a little bit divided there. Got one divided. There we go. There we go. Kind of got 3 tails there. Like I said, the fish are not going to be concerned with that. I'm going to put a little bit of head cement on there. Watch that eye. I didn't get anything in the eye, but if you get some in the eye, just take a feather and put it through the eye of the hook and it will clean it right out. And here I have what I'm going to call the West Branch Rusty Sulphur. And hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Please visit my sponsors and let them know that I sent you. Leave comments, questions, suggestions. If you'd like to purchase this or any flies that I make, go to etsy.com/shop/theflymanjim. And if you don't see it, please just send me a message on Etsy and we'll discuss what you're looking for and I'll get them made for you. And most of all, I thank you very much for watching my videos.